Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Javier in the Air. So I think I got the camera and the lighting set up in a better spot. Tell me what you think about it when you watch the show. Try to get myself here in the middle. There you go. So, good times, welcome. I'm filming this on a Saturday for a Sunday release because I have time before I have to do some work. So I thought I'd get as much as I can done today, if not get it all done today, and then I'll be ahead of the game. So, for those of you who have not watched my show before, welcome. I am Javier. There we go. I am Javier of Javier In The Air. So, some people have found me on the internet, but they're also asking, who is this on the air? And honestly, I don't know. But he's a political podcast, so not really part of who I am. So there we go. So don't worry about it. Watch it if you want. I personally do not, because I watch Javier in the Air and I film Javier in the Air. So for those of you who may have walked into this unexpectedly, hit the wrong channel, welcome anyway. So I've been getting out a couple more times a week now, so that's great. Downside is I'm finding a lot more trash, and I don't know if it's because I took a couple of weeks off where I was only going like once a week, so I was only hitting these routes like once. I try to hit as many different routes as I can. And for those of you who may not know, what I do is I walk around to get my exercise in. And then I also take a little grabber with me, and a trash bag, or what has become a trash bag, and I pick up trash as I walk along. It does a couple of things where it keeps me accountable to keep wanting to get out there and pick up trash. Two, I get to meet some really great people. I ran into probably about 3 or 4 couples this week, and then 2 or 3 individuals who were just walking themselves and thanking me for helping out with the neighborhood. And then it also cleans up the neighborhood, so that's always nice. I put everything into my recycle bin. I wash my hands before and after, even though I use gloves to sort the trash. I use the grabber, like I said. I try not to touch anything out on the street. I do, for the most part, do not pick up anything organic, such as poo bags that are full of poo, food itself, banana peels, orange peels, stuff like that, and anything like roadkill. So everything else is pretty much up for grabs. I get it with the grabber, goes into the bag, I sort the bag, and then I put it in my recycle bin. So I'm naming streets, but I am not naming particular houses, nor will I ever do that. I am not here to publicly identify and shame individuals, but I can shame streets because they are not actually people. So I tell you the route that I'm on, but I don't stop and take photos, like I said. So and I stay on public property. Make sure that nothing, there's no one saying that I'm getting on their property and doing anything. I'm not like anybody and everybody else who maybe, you may see doing stuff on people's yards, coming in, knocking, or just even picking up stuff. I feel it's up to you to pick up your stuff if it's on your property. So there you go. So like I said, I've been getting out more, which means I have more to show. So let's see what I got. Dark Frog Social Media presents Trash in the Hood. Hey everybody, welcome to week 33. This is actually Tuesday, or day 2 as I like to call it when I label these things. This is a photo merge, so it looks a little odd, but there was so much junk I just couldn't do it in one photo. So you see the cigarette butts at the bottom left, a bunch of Whataburger and other food, styrofoam containers, plastic beverage containers, water bottles, receipts, paper, small little pot that a plant was probably in, little dog chew toy, a bunch of receipts, food wrappers, and whatnot, and just a lot of overall stuff, soda can and stuff like that. So it was a crazy day. So this was day 5, which was Friday. And as you see there, a little bit less, but still beer cans and bigger items, food bags and paper and plastic and toilet paper rolls, which I'm not sure why that was around. Again, with the cigarette butts, a couple of weird boxes, some nuts and bolts, some straws, and some receipts and all that. So again, another crazy day. So some of the streets that I take are around myself. So Hickory, El Salito, Red Bay, Black Cherry, Loretto Wood, Little Elm Trail, Meadowlark, Hatch, 620, stuff like that. So this was this morning. This is Saturday, so day 6. You see a lot of cigarette butts. I think it was like 35 cigarette butts, vape pens, beer cans, wire from weed whackers, more beer cans, a Nerf dart, some water bottles, a bunch of plastic, another pot for a plant. It looks like somebody's just putting in the plants and then throwing the pots over a wall or something like that. A lot of mini liquor bottles, and it looks like it was time to party on Friday night. So a lot of that stuff, and a lot of little bits and pieces of metal and plastic and just overall trash like that. It was another full bag, sadly to say. So there you have it, another trashy week in the hood down. And if you heard, yes, you did hear correctly, that was week 33 for me. So what that means is that I have been getting out at least once a week for the past 33 weeks. It's been not really life changing, but it has been a game changer for me, as in it has certainly dropped my resting heart rate. And even though I was doing other exercises like rowing and weights and stuff like that, the walking for me is just really something that really comes in handy, and is really helps me stay or try to get back to being relatively in a good, healthy state. So if you see me out there, and I saw a lot of people this week, like I said, great people out there thanking me for it. There's no need to thank me, but thank you that you did. I am doing it out there because, part of it is, to help me maintain my health. And they talked about how they picked up trash too, which I found very enlightening and very happy to hear that they were doing that. So I also got not stopped, but I had a couple cars pull up as I was picking up trash, thanking me for doing that, and wishing me good luck on that. So that's fantastic. This is what I like to hear. I'm not trying to get together with people and doing it. I'm not, I like to maintain staying in my hood as far as I can walk, and every couple of weeks I try to walk a little bit further, either in one long route, or I try to walk an extra day, or try to get in as many as I can, especially with work picking up right now. I'm probably pretty much at max as far as the amount of time, unless I can get out there during the week when I work from home, which I have been doing. So if you are interested in doing it, just do it. There's no process, there's no books, there's no, how should I do it, Javier? Please let me sit at your knee and you provide me information and knowledge, impart knowledge onto me so that I can learn. No, you just get out and do it. If you want to do it, you do it. Now, if you're out walking and you live in a neighborhood where everything's really clean, more power to you. Good for you. Unfortunately or not, just depends on how I want to look at it, and I try not to look at it poorly. There's a lot of foot traffic, a lot of car traffic, a lot of construction vehicle traffic around my area, and that means a lot of people that are driving through that this may not be their neighborhood. Now, unfortunately, what that means is that if it's not my neighborhood, I can treat it like a trash can. Not everybody does it. I'm not blaming everybody, but there are some. And so those individuals may be passing through the neighborhood and trashing. The sad part is that there may be some people that are from this hood that are trashing. So I'm not out of here to take photos of them and try to shame them. They should feel ashamed by themselves. So that was my trash in the hood. Now I think we're going to go to let's go to our bottom line, and then afterwards we can have a nice Zen moment. So let's see what we got on bottom line. Dark Frog Social Media presents Bottom Line Work Events, Fun or Traps? Welcome everyone to Bottom Line. So today's topic is work events, fun or traps. So here's the thing. If you've worked in any industry long enough, you will make friends. You will also might possibly make enemies, or at least people that are not your friend. Let's put it that way. So, over time, when you work for these companies, they will have company-sponsored events. Sometimes they're internally in the office. A Happy St. Patrick's Day, a Valentine's Day potluck, a Super Bowl potluck, and on and on and on, and then of course through the Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween trifecta that is the 3 months of October, November, December. So there's a lot of opportunities that companies have to try to build up companionship, camaraderie, the work office culture, if you will. So they will have these events. So now the problem comes in for some individuals is that they don't necessarily look at the event like there could be pitfalls and traps. And what I mean by that is, I, like anyone, and if you've watched this show long enough, have seen the healthy or the spirit times section that I have. So I do like to imbibe, partake, drink, guzzle, quaff, whatever you want to call it, alcohol from time to time. And if you've seen my tasting parties or you've been to my tasting parties, then you know that I do like my alcohol. However, when it comes to certain work events, you have to read the room, read the people that are there. And what I mean by those two distinctive items is that read the room. If the event is a very light, maybe some appetizers, and they're only having beer, and they didn't call it a happy hour, and they didn't talk about guzzling, they didn't talk about slamming down. Your boss just couched it in like, let's have a happy hour. Then you're reading the event, i.e. reading the room. And by the way, this is for actually being there. This is not a Zoom event, which we'll talk about in a second. So you need to read the room and understand that the event itself may be very lighthearted, very light as far as the alcohol goes. And so you need to drink or not drink accordingly. You need to remember that even though you might have friends there, you might have people there that aren't your friends. And so you want to be aware of that, so when you drink, you don't drink to excess. Or you have a buddy who may not be drinking to excess, and they're going to help you out by telling you to stop, or let's get a ride home, or Uber, or whatever, or switch over to water, and they're there to help you out. So that's reading the room. Now, reading the people is if you're going to a place where there's some high mucky mucks, and yes, I said mucky mucks, and you do not know them, do not, I repeat, do not drink to excess. Never drink to excess around your boss's bosses or your boss's boss's bosses. For one, you don't want to show them that you can really pound down the alcohol, because that's not what you weren't hired for that. If you were hired to pound down the alcohol, then by all means, certainly just drink to like a fish. But if you were hired and it wasn't about drinking, then you need to make sure that you drink light when you are around people you don't know, and people that you don't know but are higher ups, the mucky mucks, the VIPs, the president of the company, and that sort of thing. So read the room and read the people. Always be aware of that. So the bottom line is, one, you never really should drink to excess at any office event. Two, read the room. See if the event is something that you can let go a little bit. And three, read the people. If it's a lot of people you don't know, then the best thing is water is your friend. And that is the bottom line. Great bottom line, and yes, I'm looking at the camera over the tops of my glasses. I just can't get my glasses right today. So, anyway, if you have a comment, question, or concern, or a suggestion for a new bottom line, or you have a differing opinion, by all means, shoot me a message. Facebook, Instagram, here on my YouTube channel, Javier In The Air, or my tag, Javier In The Air 01, or 01, I should say. And drop me and let me know. I'm always open to feedback. I encourage it. I live for it. And I have made changes according to feedback in the past. So if your feedback is something that I agree with, or if it's a dissenting opinion, I will get it on the show. So, that being said, now let's go to our Zen moment. And I'm still struggling, but I'm going to try to get us under 30 minutes again today. So, Zen moment. If I could save time in a bottle, there would be so many bright and full timekeepers sitting on my mantle. And as I grow older, I will reach up every now and then and grab one and shake it so that the memories fall like soft rain upon my mind. Memories such as birthdays, graduations, weddings, children playing in the fields. I would grab another and shake that, and it would be my grandparents, laughing and joking as we go through different points in time. Ask yourself, if you could save time in a bottle, what would they be? And how would you shake them? All right, getting some liquid in me. Walked a lot today, did a lot of work, and need to make sure I stay hydrated. And you too should stay hydrated. So speaking of hydration, though it has nothing to do with today's topic, let's go into our healthy after 50. And here we go. Hey everybody, welcome to Healthy After 50. Trying to get the light out of my face. There it is. And so today we are going to talk a little bit about the driving and driving after 50. So now this generation, my generation, Generation X, as we start going into our 50s and even I think almost into our 60s for my generation, which, by the way, generations is an arbitrary term that was come up by people just so that we could differentiate between people of different ages and also treat them poorly. So the people of my generation, which I have nothing else really to use, so I'm going to use that. And anybody over the age of 50, you're going to notice no matter how good in shape you are in, your reflexes have slowed just a little bit, if not more so. So you need to be aware when you drive, especially in places like Austin and even in San Antonio, just huge metropolises, that you might have to give yourself more leeway when it comes to your response times. So I know even though my response times are still pretty good for where they were 20 years ago, I know that there's leeways and padding and cushions that I have to do when I'm driving. And why is that? Because there are 18 to 20 to 25 to even 30-year-olds out there whose hand-eye coordination and agility and response time is way above mine, and they can react quicker. So it's easier for me to drive at a speed I'm comfortable with in my car, my truck that I've had for 32 years, so I know how it handles. So you have to be aware of your surroundings, and you have to be aware of what you can physically do. So don't be a leadfoot now that you're in your 50s, 60s, and 70s if you can't respond quickly enough. Yes, it's always nice to rent a car, take that top down, and just drive as fast as you can, hoping that the cops don't get you because you're an old person and they may give you leeway. Probably won't. And but when you have to drive 35, 10, 281, 183, there are people out there that have quicker reaction times than you do. Excuse me. Than you do. So be aware. Be in control of your surroundings. As the drivers, Ed used to tell you, always check your blind spot and check your mirrors, because they'll come up on you fast, and if you're not prepared to be prepared, then there might be an issue. So drive safely, drive carefully, continue to drive. If you can still drive, do it. It gets you out, it keeps you mobile, it makes you feel like you are independent, whether you are or not. So as long as you can do it, do it. But if you start seeing issues, you need to give yourself more padding, or it may be time to hang up that driver's card. I'm hoping that it won't be for anybody that I know for quite a long time. And that's our driving. Hey everybody, welcome to Spirit Time. How did I move all of a sudden? There, let's just move the laptop, makes it easy. So, I don't know if I've had this before. I don't think I have, so I wanted to break it out today. Now, this is something that you don't normally drink by itself, but we're going to do just a little taste of it. For those of you who like certain alcohols, certain mixed drinks, certain cocktails, stuff like that, you usually have, for a cocktail, you usually have various ingredients. Your first ingredient is what your main alcohol is, whether it be a whiskey or a vodka or a rum. And then you have a second ingredient, which is usually a liqueur, something that is lesser, I should say, in ABV or lesser proof. For example, you have a rum that's 90 proof, and then you have a liqueur that's 40 proof. And then your third is usually your mixers, or even third. You could have a third alcohol. You can even have a fourth and a fifth, but let's just stick to a 3-ingredient cocktail. So you have your alcohol, you have your liqueur, and then you have your mixer, albeit something like Diet Coke, Coke, Sprite, 7-Up, ginger ale, ginger beer, or ginger soda, I should say, like a root beer type of thing, which has been known. I'm not a big fan of that in the cocktail, but there are some people, and it takes all kinds, and so on and so forth. And that's how you start mixing and building that, and you can have millions of combinations, and it can be called something. And what is called one thing in one country or one bar can be called something else, even though it's exactly the same. So I digress. So what I'm looking at today is a liqueur, and there's many different liqueurs. This is a rare triple orange liqueur called Grand Gala. It's made with Italian VSOP brandy, which I forgot what VSOP stands for, and it's a 40% ABV. So remember when we're drinking beers on the show and we talk about 13, 14%, that the brother Rob and I are like, wow, this is strong. And a lot of people are like, wow, that's strong. That's 13, 14%. This is 40% ABV. And so this is actually 80 proof. So this is actually much higher than most of the liqueurs that you will get in most bars, unless it's a very high-end cocktail, which then they're going to charge you an arm and a leg. Luckily, this is at home, so it only cost me about $28 for this bottle, which, by the way, it's not a very large bottle. As you can see, my hand, the length of my fingers from thumb to index to middle finger, is actually higher than the bottle itself. So, but you pay for you pay for the extravagance. And so here we are. So this is a rare triple orange liqueur. So I'm going to go ahead and pour it. Now, what you may or may not know about liqueurs is that you don't, I mean, unless you're making cocktails all the time, you don't add them all the time to things. You can. We float them right now. We float the orange liqueur on top of tequila, the Pavlovskis and myself, or I should say James and myself, neighbor James. And it makes just a fantastic alcohol that much better. So I'm going to go ahead and add this. And here's my Stoli's double shot glass. So I'm not going to go a whole shot. And you can see it's rather thick and syrupy, and I think that's because of the orange makes it very, very thick due to the syrup nature of orange. As you start reducing orange, it starts taking all the sugars that are in there, and it starts turning it into a syrup. So the more you distill it, the more it's going to be thicker, and this is pretty thick as it is. You see it's got an orange tint to it. This is about a quarter of a shot looking at the glass, so it's not much at all, but I wanted to see what we got out of this and see the tasting we got. So here's Grand Gala Orange Liqueur. Definitely has that alcohol feel to it where it evaporates in the back of your throat and just kind of the fumes get to you. Good orange taste to it. Not overwhelmingly orange, so it's not like they probably added fake orange in there. They did not do this for that. It's a really cool little thing on the bottle. You see it there, Grand Gala. I highly recommend this. I like to, like I said, like to float something like this on top of tequila. I also like to float it on top of margaritas, which again is a tequila base. You can also add it to daiquiris, and you can also add it to if you want to customize a martini, you can use that as a secondary alcohol to it, and it'll turn out really good. So that I'm gonna give that a 7.5 out of 10 thumbs up as far as taste, texture, and flavor and smell. Good body, good aroma. Everything is just hitting all the way across the board. It could maybe be, I don't know, it's pretty good. So 7.5 I think is really good when it comes to a liqueur. So there you have it, our spirit time. I'm glad we got this one in. Grand Gala Orange Liqueur, 7.5 thumbs. Thanks a lot, everyone. And that is it, everyone. I am gonna barely hit it, but I am not gonna go over 30 minutes. I appreciate everyone's thoughts and comments on that. I know I missed a little bit talking about Zoom meetings and drinks. I'll touch base on that a little bit next week, just so it doesn't get missed out. I hope you have a good day, good rest of your day, good evening, good week. I will be working from home, so if you have any comments or thoughts or suggestions, please send them my way. If you'd like to be on the show and talk about something that you're passionate about, or you'd like to be a guest co-host, then by all means, please shoot me a message and I will get you on the show. And if you have a mom and pop business that you'd like to get on the show, just let me know and I'll get it on as well. So thanks a lot, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you tune in next time. So thanks a lot, everyone.